Hey, beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I guess you can call it a podcast. And we're here today to talk about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And you guys, I was very entertained with this episode, especially the end, as I'm sure most of us. When I tell y'all I was dying at a lot of the end, I was dying laughing. I first off want to shout out my new subbies. Hey, y'all. Welcome to the beautiful people family. I appreciate you guys for subscribing, and I want to give a special shout out to Sweet Jasmine because she said she's not a new subby, but that was her first time commenting. And you guys know I appreciate anytime you all talk to me. I love it. So hey, Sweet Jasmine, and everyone else that subscribed, I appreciate you guys. And if you have not, please do consider subscribing. And if you do subscribe, go ahead and give yourself a shout out so that I can give you a shout out in the next video. Let me know that you subscribe, you're a new subby, and I will give you a shout out in the next video because when I say I appreciate you guys, I appreciate you guys. So let's talk about the episode. Let's get into it. Y'all, so the opening scene was Miss Cherie coming to meet Miss Garcelle with some coffee and go for a walk and catch up. And I'm not gonna lie, I miss Cherie. She was on one of those, she was on one of those shows, I think on VH1, about being married to somebody. I mean, hip hop. It's not hip hop stars. I can't remember the name of it, but she was on the show, and I did like her on that show. So it was good to see her face and good to see her back on reality TV. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed her on the show. I just felt like she was kind of the most level-headed one there, and she is comedy. Like, she gave me pure comedy in this episode. So they're talking about her, little getaway, and she's like, yeah, baby daddy was there, talking about Will, of course. And Garcelle asked if Jada was there, and she's like, no, Jada has her own life. And I was like, I mean, it's not shade because it's true, but you already know that people think they just lead two different lives or whatever. So I don't know about her really saying that, but I guess it's the truth. So yeah, she keeps it all the way 100. And apparently she was quarantined with some young hottie, and she said she bought him a ball so he could go play like a kid because he's young. And Garcelle's like, did you buy him snacks too? She's like, oh, I was the snack. Yes, ma'am. You better say it. Yeah, she's just naturally cool people. Like, we get a flashback of her and Garcelle, and she's telling Garcelle how she got a breast reduction, and then after she had her baby, they dwindled down to absolutely nothing, so she got an implant. So Garcelle is like, are they hard? She's like, I don't know, you tell me. So Garcelle is kind of feeling them or whatever. She's like, hey Garcelle, how about that guest room? I mean, I thought it was funny. And I feel like it just came natural to her. All right. We also hear about Garcelle dating Will. And I feel like we know that. And you know why I feel like we know that? Because didn't Garcelle put up an inappropriate birthday message to him one year? I think it was like a couple years ago that she put up a picture of like them two, I guess when they dated, and like it was just a little inappropriate. But people didn't really care because it was at the time that Jada would put up big soliloquies about what's his name, Tupac, on his birthday every year. So people was like, okay, I'll allow it. It was inappropriate, but never mind, have at it. But I just think that it's weird that Garcelle wants to bring it up every single time she introduces Cherie. And I get it. You guys weren't friends at the time. It was after she divorced him. You didn't know her or whatever. So it's not like you did anything behind her back. But why do you need to bring yourself into it every time you introduce her as Will's ex-wife? Okay, you dated Will, Garcelle. Okay. I mean, listen, I ain't mad at Garcelle. I just don't understand the point of it. But listen, if her friend ain't got no problem with it, I ain't got no problem with it. Or maybe I do. All right, so we're at Crystal's house, and I mean, nothing really to see here. The best thing about Crystal would be her family, I guess. Her brother he's adorable. I guess he's a singer, and he's been gone a long time, almost a year. He's back. Her husband he seems like a cool enough guy. And she's in the confessional doing her, talking or whatever, and you can hear a blow dryer. and she's trying to call and find out whose it is. What, I guess it's her brother. So she's like, I love my brother. I love my brother. But yeah, Crystal's just kind of boring. So she's asking her husband about another movie venture that he's working on or whatever. I think a Lion King musical, something. But isn't Lion King already a musical? I don't know. I'm confused. But he's then saying something about um, something of Norfolk. And he kept saying Norfolk. And she's like, his son is like, you keep saying the F word. And he's like, no, I'm not. I'm saying Norfolk. And yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I laughed. It was so stupid. I laughed. He just kept saying it. And she said, do you mean Norfolk? He's like, no, Norfolk. And she's like, yeah, he's like having an extra child because he was getting a kick out of himself. And I got a kick out of it too. Maybe I'm just in a goofy mood, but I laughed. Oh, and then I'm just gonna wrap them up. So her brother, and her husband go sit down and talk about the trip. She tells them that it was something else. It was a mess, but it's fine now. So she didn't really get into what happened, or at least on camera. She didn't want to get into it again, I guess. And so her husband asked, "Well, how was Diana on the trip?" And she goes into this whole thing about Diana being, yeah, I don't understand what Diana said that scared them so much, that made them think that she's so fearful, and she like she's just so, I don't know, like I don't get why she's like, yeah, but she's not to really be messed with or whatever. No, no, she cried at the table. What are they talking about? All right, so next we're at Kyle's house, and she's basting a big ass turkey. And I'm like, why she got this big ass turkey? And it's because her daughter is hosting a Friendsgiving. So Mauricio comes in, and she's asking him about going to the party. He's like, I'll check my calendar. And he says something about Diana. And she says, well, I don't know. Oh, no, all the girls are going to be there, or something he said. And she's like, I don't know, maybe everybody but Diana. And of course, Rena's not there. So we also see a phone call with, or FaceTime with them and Rena. Her face looks so puffy and like she just had some work done. It just didn't look good. But Kyle says that she sent a group text, asking about, who's going or what's going on or whatever. And Diana Diana responds, and she's like, I usually don't do this, but, and she talks about how, going out of town and eating and drinking and just doing so much, like she overdid it. And she's on bed rest because, she was bleeding for 8 weeks straight after losing baby. And it's so funny because they were reading it in her broken English. And we go through all the ladies reading it or whatever. So we get to Garcelle, and she's like, oh, well, Sutton reads a part about her having four major surgeries. And I'm like, listen, you better be on point because Sutton will, she investigate everything you tell her. She's just not going to let it go. But Garcelle reads her part, and she said, yeah, I'm only saying this because I don't think I can make it to Garcelle's party. And she she spelled Garcelle's name wrong. Oh my god, y'all, these freaking fireworks. But she spelled Garcelle's like she says her name. What am I saying? Hold on, I gotta start over. Okay, take two. So as they're reading, y'all, Rena and this Gucci blazer, oh my god, it's so cute. And I don't really like all the name, and like I don't like all that being so big and just all over your clothes, but that was cute. That was cute. So Rena reads a part that says, I usually don't do this or whatever, sounding like a whiny bitch. And then Garcelle reads, but Garcelle, and then she looks up and says, spelled wrong, would think I'm rude. So here it is. And I'm like, ugh, she is a bitch, y'all. Don't like Diana. I mean, but of course we don't like Diana because we know for sure she's a racist, but she is a bitch as well. So don't like her. And really don't like her after this episode. I would love to curse her out. I really would. I want Garcelle to really go in on her, but I'm jumping ahead. So let's back up. All right, so Erica has a photo shoot. Nothing really to see there. She talks about her grandmother, which was very sweet. Then Sutton goes over to see Dorit, and Dorit's mom is there. I don't know why we're getting so many touching scenes, but Dorit's mom is there, and she looks very young, cute lady, and she just kept giving Sutton so many compliments. But her mom baked cookies, and it's funny because she's like about to introduce her, or she's introducing her mom to Sutton, and Sutton is talking about the cookie, and I'm like, Sutton, say hi to her mama. Oh my God, she's like, this is the one with the jalapenos. It would have been nice, and then she's like, oh hey, no, oh hey, talk to the mom first, then talk about the cookie. Oh my God. But the mom was very gracious, and like I said, she just kept giving Sutton so many compliments, telling her how pretty she was, and I thought that was very sweet because in actuality, Sutton should have been giving her those compliments because she looks so young. Then we have Dorit saying how close the family is, and her mom gives her a ring or something from her grandma because she felt like her grandma was kind of there with her, I guess during the whole robbery or something, and looking out for her. And then we have a flashback of, excuse me, Dorit's brother um, crying, like boo hooing. Oh my God, I love you, Dorit. Oh my God, I love you, Dorit. And I was just like, oh my God. Like, ugh. Listen, I like the mom most of all. I feel like I would not like Dorit or her brother because seriously, why are you crying? The fuck? So they sit down, and Sutton is telling her how she has a doctor's appointment to have a testosterone pellet put in her something. And they just do a little slit and they put a pellet in. And Dorita's just looking at her like, testosterone, huh? I really don't think Dorit likes Sutton, so I don't even understand what this matchup is. Have we ever seen them together or whatever? It's okay, but back to the testosterone. She's like, "Oh, testosterone. Well, that would explain it." And I'm like, "Yeah, it would definitely explain where Sutton got these balls from. All of a sudden, she definitely got balls this season, and I ain't mad at her testosterone pellets. But she says I guess she likes it and she feels fine. So good for Sutton. All right, so they finish up that scene with Sutton telling her about Diana on the plane, and Dorit saying, yeah, she asked where she should sit, and Diana was like, anywhere you want, and I'm like, okay, we already know she don't like Sutton, so why did you want to sit next to her anyway, son? Like, Diana's boring. Again, we'll get to that later, but girl, I wouldn't want to sit next to her anyway. Um, so then Sutton is talking about how she came for Garcelle on that text message, and she's like, I'm watching you. Don't come for my friend. And I was like, yes, Sutton, you better have that energy because Garcelle would be going to bat for Sutton. So I mean, it was good to see that Sutton is doing the same thing for Garcelle. All right, so we're at Garcelle's house and we see a bunch of men. Y'all, her son Oliver has really grown up in what, a year? I feel like he's been in the gym for a year. He's looking good. But she comes in and she greets them. It's her two sons and her nephew, very handsome guys. And she's telling how on the real, they surprised her with Oliver coming out with flowers or whatever. And he was all proud of himself. He's like, yeah, I did that. I did that. So her dressmaker was there, her seamstress or whatever. And she ran upstairs to, try on her birthday dress. But yeah, her guys are she has a very nice looking family, and they're gonna talk about that later on in the show. So Sutton is getting ready, and she FaceTimes Kyle to see what she's wearing or whatever. And they're talking about Diana coming again. And I'm like, why? Why do y'all care? She sent a freaking text saying she's not coming. She's dying. She's not coming. um, and Sutton says that she said, I'll see you there. And Kyle is like, really? Because, from that text, it seemed like she definitely wasn't coming. And Sutton's like, don't make a mountain out of a molehill. And Kyle's like, well, it didn't seem like a molehill because she told you to pretty much beat it. Like, you can't sit here. And she starts dying laughing. Sutton is like, I can't stand you. So that was a cute little moment. But my whole thing is, Sutton, why are you texting her to see if she's okay and if she's coming? Do you care about her? You don't care about her. Like, why are you texting her? I just don't understand why they be doing dumb shit, basically. All right, so we are now at the party, and Sun comes in. I don't really understand what she has on, but it's okay because it's Sutton. Nobody is really knocking me out, but when Kyle comes in, Sun says, I didn't know it was a pajama party. I was like, oh my God. And then Kyle, clearly offended, was like, I didn't know it was a boobs out party. Like she can't read, so she had nothing. But she tried. And then she looked down and she said, oh, obviously I did. Because her boobs were out. I'm like, her everything is out. She had on like a leotard type of thing. They don't say leotard no more. Bodysuit. I just show my age right there, you guys. Leotard. She had on like a bodysuit type of thing or whatever with a sheer dress. I mean, it was fine. Erica's there. She has on this whole cheetah situation going on. Not my fave. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not my fave. None of them really looked great. Doree had on this jumpsuit number. Not my fave. So they're looking at the cake, and it's a Birkin cake, and they're like, "Oh, look at the cake!" And you could tell Kyle is being shady and phony because you gotta watch people's eyes after they say stuff. Kyle is like, "Oh, isn't that cute?" And she gave, I think it was Dorit standing next to her. She kind of gave her a look, and I'm like, Kyle is so shitty, y'all. I don't care. Kyle is a shitty person. And then in her confessional, she says, "Yeah, I would rather have the bag than the cake." And she says, I think it was Dorit that said her first Birkin. I don't like how they playing my girl, but listen, she still paid $500 for that cake, and I was just like, $500 for that cake. I don't even know about that. Not less a Birkin. And later on, when they talk about the Birkin, she's like, "Oh, I'll never have the bag" or something like that. But she was saying it because she says she can't even see spending that amount of money. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think the Birkin bag is cute. It's just not a cute bag. Like, I feel like it costs a lot, and I'm not even being a hater. I mean, if they have it and they got it like that and they love it, great. But I don't think it's cute. So, but and Garcelle just says she can't see spending that amount of money on a bag anyway. But I can't see spending $500 on something that's not like a wedding cake or something like a birthday cake. Mm-mm. Or maybe I'm just cheap, or maybe I just ain't got it like that. But I would not want a $500 cake that you can barely eat. Like all that fondant or whatever that's all over the cake. They ain't gonna be able to eat that shit. Speaking of the Birkin, let's just get the Birkin talk all out or whatever. So I'm jumping ahead, but I'm just gonna get the Birkin shit out the way because who cares? Because Diana tells this story about how she, her house was on fire or whatever, and she had like 30 seconds to run in and get something. And she took a picture where all she saved was her Birkin and her diamonds and her something else. And I'm like, ugh, she is so irritating. She's so obnoxious. She's so annoying. I don't even know how, like, I don't want to see her no more. I'm hoping and praying that we don't have to see her no more. And I saw that on, was it Watch What Happened Live? Yeah. Watch What Happens Live. Andy Cohen was asking Garcelle about that tweet or whatever that she made, that racist tweet. And he's like, "Do you believe she really didn't know?" And Garcelle was like, she's she, what she say, uneducated. But it lets us know that Bravo, even though they never made a statement, to my knowledge, they never made a statement about it at all. But oh, they know, they're well aware of what she's doing. So yeah, I'm really hoping she's just not back next year because I don't want to listen to her. Everything she says is so irritating, and this whole act she puts on about being so, oh my God, I'll just blow up at you. I'll just do that. But you cried at the table. Bet you cried at the table. I'm sorry. It just holds no weight. So, anyway, back to the Birkins. Apparently, she came with a $250,000 Birkin that had diamonds, and she just kept asking Kyle. Kyle is already saying the bag is nice. I need a bag like this. It's a nice bag. Did you see the diamonds? Did you see the diamonds? Oh, but did you see the I'm like, bitch. Oh my gosh, she's so freaking annoying, y'all. But last talk about the Birkin, they were talking to Garcelle about the Birkin when she was saying that she would never get one, and they were saying, "Don't say that. You are manifesting, and you can get it." So that was nice that they were saying that. However, maybe as a gift, somebody will gift it to her one day because she said she's not spending her money on that, and I don't blame her. Yeah, so who shows up? Of course, Diana. Is it Diane? Diana? I don't know. But her and her husband look dumb as hell. He has on this big ratty coat and they look phony as all get out. You know that phony smile that they say white people give you where they just do, the little phony smile. They walked in with that and she's like, it's dead indeed. Bitch, like that's all you can say when you deal with this girl because everything she says is just, oh my God, I just would love to slap her up. Like I just would love to slap her face so many times back and forth, you know. But yeah, Garcelle did not give two shits about seeing her either. She says, oh, well, maybe the doctor meant take a nap as opposed to bed rest because she's here. And she's like, I don't care. At least the bitch rallied and she's here. But yeah, her and her husband, so freaking phony. I would rather you just not come. Don't come. And then she gives Garcelle some flowers, and what do you know? In the flowers is the book. And she's like, "Oh, because it's really hard to find my book. It's sold out, and I even signed it for you." Garcelle was very gracious and accepted the stupid book that I'm sure she really doesn't care about. Yeah, am I crazy or did I catch some shade that Kathy did to Garcelle and Kyle kind of threw her under the bus? So Garcelle is telling Kyle how Kathy's not coming because, oh, excuse me. Sorry, y'all. Lord, and I'm not gonna. I just can't. I just don't want to edit it out, you guys. I'm sorry. It was a yawn. We all do it. But anyway, um, no, Garcelle is telling her that Kathy sent her, the most beautiful cake. And she's like, is she coming? No, no, she says she's in Pasadena or something. Kyle is like, oh, you know what that means, right? Like when we were young, our mother would say, when she didn't want to do something, Pasadena, Pasadena. And she's like, that means I'll pass. So I'm like, oh my God, did Kathy pretty much lie and say she's in Pasadena because she's passing on this party? That's so shitty, but funny at the same time because Kyle threw her right under the bus. But I guess Garcelle didn't take it that way. So am I wrong? Did y'all take it that way? Y'all, Garcelle's sons, Oliver and the other one. Sorry, the other one. I don't know what his name is, but he's the baby. They go over and meet Crystal and Erica, and he's like, "Hey, I'm Oliver," and they speak real quick. And then when they walk away, Crystal, or one of them is like, "Oliver's hot," and Crystal's like, "Yeah, I've been kind of staring," and Erica's like, "Yes, yes, that's my jam." Like that's, I'm like, these women are like all over these young black men. It is a mess. And they were dead ass serious talking about how hot he was. Like Oliver could have gotten any one of them that night. And the unfortunate part, I ain't gonna say that because listen, I ain't got nothing against white people, y'all, but he's married to a white woman, ain't he? All right, I'm just gonna move on, but I'm just saying. Y'all, let me back up. When they talked about the Birkin, because I just watched it. When they talked about the Birkin and telling her, Crystal was telling her, no, this is a manifestation. Don't say you won't get it. And she's like, this is the closest I'll come to one. And Erica was in the background saying, yeah, me too. That is hilarious to me because Erica, you don't deserve it. And what about her just having to give up these earrings, apparently? The judge ordered her to give up these earrings. I don't even know the full story, y'all, so I don't know how much the earrings are worth, but it's a lot. I mean, I listened to the story. I watched Kempire, and I just found him. I like him. But yeah, she got to give up some earrings, y'all. So here's the conversation where they sit down with Cherie, and Garcelle says Cherie is her backup, and she's like, "Yeah, all she got to do is call me, and I'm there." But of course, she's telling the story about how she dated her husband, and then she lets them know that her ex-husband is Will Smith, and they were very, very impressed with that. And then I feel like they were really, really all into Cherie once they found out it was Will Smith's ex-wife. And not Garcelle. Erica's like, Garcelle got bodies. She got bodies. So in the confessional, Garcelle is like, yeah, I'm proud of my bodies. And there's been a drought. So I'm more worried about the bodies to come more than the bodies that I've already had. And I'm like, period. Like, period. Y'all, so while they sitting there talking to Cherie, she is talking about 2020 and how it was a bad year. Erica, of course, is like, yes, yes, it was. And she's like, but it was also like a spiritual awakening. And when I tell you they are so into her because of who she was married to, it's so crazy. Because for sure, I don't think they would have been paying her any attention if if it wasn't for the fact that she was married to Will. And they're hanging on her every word and yesing to everything she's saying. And this lady says that what she say? Hold on, let me find out something about her vagina. Oh, she made peace with her vagina. And y'all, they were all like, oh, okay, all right. It reminded me of that movie with not Lawrence Fishburne. Oh my God, the girl from Cosby. Um, oh my God, Gabrielle Union. What's his name? Chocolatey, short. I can't remember his name. Played in all the movies back in the 2000s and stuff with Nia Long. But anyway, when the girl from Cosby said she's sitting around all the women and she was like she's denouncing her pee and or something like that, and they were all like, "What? Okay, all right." Like she just sounds so crazy. Oh my God, I can't believe I can't remember his name. Y'all know who I'm talking about? Hold on, let me find out because I'm not finna do this. Mm-mm. Morris Chestnut, y'all. Did y'all guess before I told y'all who it was? Morris Chestnut is who I'm talking about. Yeah, we went to a play, um, and Morris Chestnut was in it. I can't remember the name of the play or anything like that, but we were very close to the front. And when I tell y'all, the place was quiet because it's a goddamn play, and they were saying stuff, and my sister just yelled out, "I love you, Morris!" And he smiled and looked up and was like, "I love you too," or something like that. It was the craziest thing, and we were so embarrassed. I was just like, "Oh my God!" What she did, she loved us some Morris Fish. I was gonna call him Morris Fishburne, Morris Chestnut. All right, I have digressed so far from this show. All right, so she's basically talking about how when she was little, her parents told her don't touch there. So I guess maybe she made peace with it and she's one with it and she don't mind touching there. I don't know, but all the other girls are saying that their parents didn't really tell them that. They said don't let other people touch them there, but they never really said don't touch yourself there. And Erica's talking about how she didn't or doesn't like to wear panties. I don't know how we got there, but we did. And she's talking about how Dorit's husband, PK, was just looking at her pee. And we do the flashback to, I think it was Erica's first, and it was Erica's first season because I just feel like they was trying to pick on her about any little thing. When she was saying, she didn't wear panties or whatever, and he was looking. And yeah, the flashback, he was looking, and he kept looking, and he kept looking, and he kept looking. So whatever. But Dorit looked offended, and then at that time, PK came over and they were like, "Oh, we were talking about peas and you popped up right at the perfect time." So he felt like they were calling him a pea and he's like, "I thought you liked me, Garcelle." It was a cute little thing. I guess Dorit wasn't too mad. She was telling him, "Don't worry about it. Not a big deal." Because you know that her and PK can go in like good girlfriends. Like they can talk about people together with no problem, So he would have definitely joined in and they would have rehashed this whole thing all over again. But, I guess, again, she wasn't that offended. So then we have, of course, Messy Kyle over there telling, what's her name, Diana, about the whole plane thing and the fact that Sutton was upset about it, and Diana's just laughing like she don't think nothing's funny about, nothing's wrong with it. And she says, "You know how I have her stored in my phone, right? As bacon eating vegetarian." And I'm like, "Girl, can you give it a goddamn rest? Like you sound stupid. The fact that you just keep saying it is ridiculous. That's what you have against her? That she's a vegetarian that eats bacon? Like that's what you don't like about Sutton? That's the best thing you can come up with. Are you kidding me? The way Sutton dresses, that's what you could come up with? Like that's all." But anyway, she then starts talking about how she got to take a breath because she can come on real strong and she can just pounce it. It's so funny because Mauricio was really like entertaining this crap, and you could see that he was just like I feel like he was more so laughing out at her than with her. The way he was like, yeah, you could just really like go in, and he's doing his hand or whatever, like a claw. And I'm like, I feel like he's talking about her because she sounds dumb as hell. Yeah, so they're dancing and having a good time, and I just feel like, of course, at the sisters' party, they gonna have a good time. Like I don't feel like I've ever seen them dance and stuff this much. But Crystal's husband was dancing. He looks funny, but he looks like he really enjoys it. And she said that he's like a dancing bear or whatever, and they call him Hip Hop Rob. I said, okay, all right. But Kyle was off the hook. First of all, Garcelle, she bends all the way back. Garcelle grabs her boobs or whatever. And I'm like, Garcelle, is there something we should know? Because she's a boob girl, I guess. But her son saw her, and he comes up and he's like, there's some explaining to do, Mom, because I'm so confused. I'm like, yeah, these women are, I mean, they just get super freaky. I guess they're super out of it, you guys. They're all lit, and it's pretty funny to see. So they're doing a Soul Train line. Kyle is doing splits in her half dress, no dress, like it's ridiculous. And Kyle, I mean, what's her name? Garcelle is like, "Ooh, Kyle is having a little too much fun." And she's like, "Where's Mauricio?" Because she is was definitely showing her ass, like for sure. Um, but it looked like they were having a really good time. So, and I don't feel like I've seen them like dance like this at any other party. Yeah, I can't believe my review is this long. So I'm about to wrap it up because we're at the last scene with Sutton sitting down with Diana, and she tells her, so you're on bed rest, or you were on bed rest, but you're here. And Diana says she's still on bed rest. She's like, so you're still on bed rest, but you're here. It's confusing. You're gonna have to clear it up. And you could tell Sutton is lit. And I'm just like, Son, who are you? Like, what do you mean telling this lady she's gonna have to clear something up? Who are you to tell this lady what she gotta do? Are you kidding me? But like, I don't know what's up with Sutton. I'm not mad at it, but that took a lot of nerve. Like, girl, are you kidding me? So anyway, Diana starts talking, and of course she's rude right away because she feels like, which is what she said. Sutton doesn't care. She's like, "Oh, I just feel bad for you," and she's like, "No, you don't. You really don't. Like, you're just being condescending, pretty much, because you don't care about me. You're just being funny." And she was. Sutton don't give a shit about this lady. So that part was funny because I'm like, "You are right on cue." But then Diana starts getting super rude, and Sutton, she wasn't really going in on her, but she wasn't really like she didn't care. I just feel like when they come at Sutton now, she just does not care, and she's like, "Oh, you're being mean. Oh, that's not nice." Like, but you could tell Sutton don't really give a shit about this lady. Yeah, so this lady, they end up going back and forth. And this lady ends up telling Sutton that she is the fakest person she's ever met in her life. And I'm like, she is the fakest person I've ever seen on TV. It's not true, but it sounds good. And she's super fake. She's super phony. She's super ugh. But she tells Sutton, and you're also boring. And I'm like, bitch, you're also boring. So what are the odds? Like, are you kidding me? And yeah, she's just really trying to come at Sutton and get under her skin. And Sutton is caught off guard because she's being so, candid or whatever. But Sutton, again, does not really give a shit. So Garcelle and Kyle come and sit down, and when they sit down, Sutton is trying to stop them. She's like, "We don't need all this right now. We don't need all this right now." And Garcelle's like, "What's going on?" Because somebody came and told, I think it's her hairstylist, came and told that Diana was really laying into Sutton. So of course, Garcelle gotta go and see about her girl. So she's like, "What y'all talking about? What's going on over here?" And Diana is in her Bosnian mood. And she's just like, I just told her that she was boring. And Garcelle's like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, and bring it on, Garcelle. Bring it on." Garcelle's like, "Listen, whatever issues you got or whatever ain't got nothing to do with me." "Oh, yeah, you think I'm rude? You think I'm like, y'all, if y'all don't like this bitch up, if y'all don't together light this bitch up. But They end up letting it go because Garcelle gets up and says, "Listen, it's my party. I'm not about to do this right now." And I'm like, "Please do it later. Please do it later, Garcelle. Light her up, please." But she gets up and she walks away. Kyle is just being Kyle. Like she's always trying to correct Sutton for some reason. It irritates the shit out of me. Kyle is very irritating. So yeah, they end up talking forever. Her and Garcelle, not Garcelle, Kyle and not Kyle, Jesus, Sutton and Diana just keep going at it, going at it. They get nothing established, and it just kind of fades off to them still arguing. And what's her name saying she'll be the new villain, and Sutton just looking at her like she has two heads because once again Sutton doesn't care. We get Garcelle. She goes to sit down. She's talking to Erica and Dorit about how um, uh, Denise didn't show up, and Erica's like, I told you." And in her confessional, Garcelle is like, "She did not tell me anything, but okay." And I'm just like, she is so toe off. Y'all, they were so toe off at this party. Like they had a really good time. You can't say that they didn't. But yeah, Denise didn't show up and Erica's like, "This bitch fucked you 3 times. Fuck her. And don't talk to her because if you do, then you are a punk ass." And I was just like, "Oh my God, what is up with her?" But I mean, Erica is super raunchy, but I feel like, what is this punk ass bitch and punk ass and all that? Like, why are you talking to the black woman like that? I mean, would you be talking to anybody else like that, call them a punk ass and all? Like, why are you doing that? I don't know. Some just didn't. It just didn't sit well, right with me. But I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt because once again, she's toe off. But that was the end of the episode, you guys. If you are still here, you are the real MVP. Thank you very much. Oh my God, you're the real MVP because I can't believe I just spoke this long about this episode. But if you have not already, please consider subscribing, like, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video. Smooches.